Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna go over our one and only trade for the morning, and it was a bit of riskier stock. I mean, I didn't really have any news, but there was some volume pumping. So we had MLEC. MLEC. I looked on the scanner. There's really nothing going on. LU. I don't know where that's from. I need to look at that. But I was more concerned about the volume pop from this morning. So lower flow. It met all the criteria except it didn't really have any news. So it began to pop up around 7:07 in the morning, which is 4 a.m. for me, and it went up. I waited for a pullback. I took my first entry. My first entry was at 6:48. Then I got in at 5:89. So why did I take this trade? Well, I took this trade because I saw a lot of volume. It was inflowing. There was a lot on the bid, but then it kind of stopped, and I was like, okay, did I mess up? So I got in around here, waited for a pullback, and then I entered around here, and I thought it would go and increase its trend from there, but it really wasn't doing much. So what I did, I set a stop loss below this candle wick. So if it went below this candle wick on the 1 minute chart, I would take my losses. It was still holding at the VWAP. So I'm really cautious with all these stocks that are holding at VWAP level. They meet the criteria because sometimes with the right volume they'll just pop, and this is exactly what that did. So it popped up and I ended up getting out at 670, 660, and I left some profit on the table, but that's okay. That's totally fine. I didn't leave that much profit. It went up to a high of 747, then immediately dumped. So imagine if I kept holding, praying that it would go up higher. Why did I think it would go up higher? Well, I was looking at the daily chart, and on the daily chart we have the 200 EMA at 841. So, ideally I was like, okay, maybe it can go up to that high, but you have to look at previous areas of resistance. So here, 674 was a resistance level. The next one would be 798, close to $8, but in between, it looks like it did reject around the 748 level. So I'm glad I took my profits before it flushed. It was a really quick trade, $97 worth of profit. That's honestly good. Within the first 7 minutes of the morning, making $97. I'm okay with that. Where does that put us on the month? Well, now we're down. We were down $300 on the month when it started, but now we close that gap. We're at just down $14. So tomorrow, Friday, we're gonna look for really quality trades, as I should have been doing. This today was a bit riskier, but I felt confident. My confidence is coming back, so I'm feeling more confident. I just gotta be careful and why I'm taking it. So if I'm not sure, I gotta be like, okay, why am I taking this trade? Why is this a good trade? And really, the low flow really was eyeing me. Even though they had news, it was more based off instinct. And that's something that you kind of developed, like, when you see stuff on the level 2 data. I wish I could show you guys the level 2 data. Maybe I'll record it next time, so that way I can kind of point and see what I'm looking at. I'm seeing a lot more like buyers on the bid. It's holding support at certain levels. It wouldn't flush down. As soon as it hit 535, it would not flush down. It would have the strength to go up past 550, go back down under 550, over 550, and then I was looking for a break around this level, around the 640, 650 area, because that's a sign of resistance from this top right here. And it did break and then just rejected. So tomorrow we'll look for better trades. So what am I looking at in the morning? So first thing in the morning, I'm looking at the scanner. 7 a.m. I was looking at NUWE. NUWE had a low float. It made really good moves, but it was just too expensive at the time. Here's the thing. It started pumping really early. Not really early, but minutes before the open. And that's pretty frustrating because I'm seeing this. I'm like, oh, I can take a trade. It looks really juicy, right? Like, look, this pullback right here. So what I would do, I would looking at this. Obviously make sure you got to confirm the volume. But you see right before the bottom of your see, it says 6:58, which is 3:58 a.m. It's just pumping, and I could have got in for 100 shares, but to me it's just too risky. One, I think it was already extended, but yeah, look at the move it made. But still, it pumped up really fast, and at this point, once it reached like $14, $15, I didn't have enough to take 100 shares, so I missed a boat regardless, and I was too slow on it. But I'm looking at this, and I'm like, gosh, I wish it kind of happened sooner, but it didn't. And that's how it goes. They honestly, these types of stocks will pump up minutes before the 4 a.m. open, and they kind of get you emotional, but keep your emotional toy. Oh, sorry. Allergies. Man, summertime, they kill me. All right, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So 7 a.m., 4 a.m., And then I'm just waiting. I'm like, okay, there's no news, and my news feed is coming up. This is from the earlier this morning, so like I'm seeing stuff come in. I'm checking this because sometimes it'll pop up, and I'm like, okay, why is it popping? I'll see that as news. Still nothing. 403 came around. SHPH, really low volume. Low volume. Look at the volume. So I was like, okay, I'm not taking that. GAME, it's higher float. Really wasn't making the moves I was looking for. So not enough momentum. And UWE kept on popping up. So I was like, oh man, I'm getting FOMO. I honestly took a trade with MLEC way before it popped up on the scanner. That was like an anticipation. It was still low float, honestly, a low volume. But it had a nice squeeze, and glad I made some profit off it. So this is what I'm looking at. Had I waited, a little bit longer, we'll go down the scanner. So I'm looking at DPRO. Say if I didn't trade MLEC, I'm looking at DPRO. I've traded DPRO, and honestly, I've gotten fucked over. So, and it made not that bad of a move. Yeah, and like wow, okay, that would have been appealing. Would have been a good move, but still, not so bad. A little bit lower volume. What I'm looking for is the volume to greatly exceed the float, because once it starts doing that, there's more demand than there is supply. So GAME or game went up. VCIG, yep. Oh, this one would have been good too. This one just went up. I got fucked over on this one as well a while ago, because they're having a regulated Bitcoin fund, and I believe previous news they were using like Solana, or they had some sort of stake in a crypto, and it got flushed. This likely would have flushed. We'll see. So I'm looking on the scanner. So I'd be waiting, and then, this is a good one. QLGN. So there's like a QLGN. I didn't really take a look at this. I quickly traded and went to sleep. Actually, no, it's a lie. I stayed up. It's hard for me to sleep sometimes, but I'll stay up for some stuff. But yeah, QLGN. So let's look at the 1 minute chart. So say if I'm trading, we gotta look at 10 seconds and 1 minute chart. So this is popping up. I'm looking at the float. I'm like, okay, float's good. What is the news catalyst? Well, right here, it's showing the news catalyst as they're granting patents that covers 25 countries. So that's good. That means they have those rights to their patents for whatever product or service they have, like their product, in those countries. So this actually wouldn't have been a bad idea to trade, but this did go up pretty fast. Okay, so I would likely would have taken a starter somewhere around here, but it's hard because this is quick. Look, 40. This is like in 30 seconds, like 20 seconds. Are you really gonna have that much time to like look at this and be like, trade, no trade? I'm gonna be taking a bit more time to look at this. Okay, so EMA 200 is 578. So it started around $3 right here, went over the 200 EMA, then pulled back on the 1 minute chart. On the 10-second chart, it's a bit of a different story. You can really see a better pullback, a micro pullback. I don't think it's a micro pullback. Kind of pulled back pretty much halfway. But then this is a bullish signal. So it reverses here. So you trade here, and then you sell around this area, which is actually not bad. This is still, if you get in 543, you can still get out with $1 per share on this move, way more than 20 cents. But yeah, this is actually not that bad of a move. But then it's not something that continued strong throughout the day. So maybe that could have been a trade, because you don't ever know when it's going to go up high. Let's see. OKYO, no news. VCIG kept popping up more. So, that one. Maybe to look out for tomorrow, maybe. Wow, it's actually a good momentum. So this is what I'm looking for. When the stuff is going on the scanner, it's constantly beeping, scanning. So I'm like, okay, something's moving. This is moving. VCIG. Let's see this. And I'm not that afraid to take stocks or take risk on stock that I've lost on before. If it's good, it's good. This is actually really good. 10 seconds. Let's see. It took a while. Wow, it took until 5 a.m. to really get it going. So what you're looking for is a break towards this resistance level. If it's already formed the top here, to be safe, you want it to break this level so you can take a trade right here, add, sell, add again, and then sell right here. Typically that's ideal, but it's never going to be that ideal because you don't know really those trends, how they're going to form. You just have to guess. And that's why Ross is such a good day trader. He guesses, he predicts like what's going to happen, what's going to form based on all the tools that it's given, and plus his experience is helping him out. So yeah, that's not bad. I feel like what I could do better is incorporate these types of safer trades where I'm like, okay, if it breaks against this level, like I did today. Today wasn't. I didn't do that though. I honestly, I feel like I got a little bit lucky, but hey, profit is profit. But I can't always rely on the luck. There is some sort of luck in this market, but it's more up to you and your skill and your psychology. But what I can start doing better is start setting, okay, if this breaks over this resistance, I'm going to take a trade immediately, because as soon as you did that, that's a guaranteed win. Versus, if you're speculating more underneath here, and obviously you have to see the level 2, okay, is there enough volume incoming? You see these volume green candles, bars, they just keep increasing. Those are good signs. But if I didn't see any of that, if I saw the MACD was going to diverge down, and if I took a silly trade here and it just kept selling off or it just stayed stagnant, then that wouldn't have been smart. So, I'm still learning, and we're doing good. We're on a good path to recovery. So hopefully, the end of the month we'll be on a better, we will be in a better place than where we started. Okay. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed today's episode, and leave a like, leave a comment on what you traded, and have a good day. Good luck tomorrow. Stay safe, guys.